Let's get started by looking at how to create a Google spreadsheet. There are a couple of ways to do this. The first way is to go to your Google Drive and use the New button. And you can just click Google Sheets. Or if you use this arrow, you have the option to create a blank spreadsheet or also to create from a template. Let's just do create a blank spreadsheet. You can also accomplish this by opening up a tab in the Chrome browser and typing sheet.new. You get the same result. If you want to take a look at some of the templates, you did sheets and did a template, there's some pre-made Google Sheets right here that you can browse through. So things relevant for teachers, there's an attendance tracker, there's a grade book, there's an assignment tracker. These things can be used for progress monitoring. There's also timelines for projects, and these charts that can be really useful if you're doing curriculum mapping. We're just going to get into starting a spreadsheet from scratch. All right, and just a quick tour of what you're seeing on your screen. This is your toolbar. This has quick access to some of the formatting items that you might use in your spreadsheet. If you don't see that, if your screen looks like this, just click this down arrow to show the menus. The file menu is where you're going to find most of your management options for spreadsheets in terms of creating new, importing data from your computer or from another sheet, sharing, downloading, so you can download your spreadsheet into any of these formats. We'll take a look at that later in the course. All right, your edit menu is here, although you'll see the undo and the redo on the toolbar. And it's really helpful when you're using sheets or even just docs to learn these keyboard shortcuts for copy and paste, especially if you're going to be moving data from one sheet to another or one cell to another within your sheet. View, we'll take a look at these options later, but for example, if you didn't have a formula bar right here, you could check in the view menu and make sure that that's being displayed. Insert menu allows you to add cells, rows, and columns, as well as other items like charts, tables, to your spreadsheet. You'll notice that you can also use a right-click option to get a lot of those abilities, such as inserting columns and rows. So within Sheets, there's often multiple ways to perform the same function. Formatting tab has many of the same options that you're going to see on your toolbar. So for example, bold, formatting your text like bold, italic, underline, you'll see those here. You'll also see alignment options right here. Pretty much most of the items that are in your toolbar you're going to find in this menu as well, but there's some other options here that we'll be looking at later in the course. Your data tab has many options that we'll look at as well later in the course, like creating filter views, protecting sheets and ranges. So for example, if I have an editor coming in on the sheet and I don't want them to be able to type or change data on a certain sheet or on a certain column, I can protect that sheet. And then there's some basic tools like spell check, setting notifications. So if you had an editor on the sheet and you wanted to be notified anytime your sheet was changed, you could use the notification rules, and we'll definitely take a look at that as well. And then there's some more advanced features here that we'll get into toward the end of the course. And the Help tab is also pretty useful. While you can Google some of the questions that you might have about Sheets, you can get help by typing in a question. So if you wanted to, for example, learn about conditional formatting, you would type that in and you would be able to access articles to find the answer to your question. All right, there's also training. So if you wanted to get more help on Sheets, you could use that as well. So that's just a quick tour of Google Sheets. In the next video, we're going to take a look at how to actually get the data in to your Google Sheet.